And the last one we've got is what I like to call the zesty effect.
The zesty? What is zesty?
I feel like the word zesty has been abused so much.
I don't know what
so
zesty
damn
is.
near that if you do anything remotely close to feminine as a guy now,
Oh, that's zesty.
Meanwhile, women will have a 10-person orgy with their best friends and no one bats an eye.
That is true. I mean, I don't mean about the orgy and the one bets, and I don't know about that. Hi YouTube, welcome back in hell. My name is Cypress, and today we'll be watching a video by Tommy NFG. This is double standards.
A double standard. It's defined as the quote-unquote rule or principle which is unfairly applied in different ways to different people or groups. So today I want to go through all of the various double standards we face in society, whether we want to or not. And I'm also going to be doing something different that you don't see on the internet a lot nowadays. Being real. So I'm sure there's going to be some Andrew Dick Rider trying to say that I'm pandering to women with their double standard. And I'm sure there's going to be some super blue hair Twitter saying that I'm pandering to men with their double standard.
They're always there.
Then just keep it pushing, okay? I'm just rationalizing the averages out here. And I'll first start with the double standards men face in society. Now, the main one that comes to my mind immediately is just being flat out broke. As a man, if you're broke, you're skyrocketed to the bottom of society in multiple ways. Simply put, a lot of guys in the world just aren't gonna care because they have to worry about themselves. And they think you'll eventually just have to man up, I guess. And in the words of an IG Reels comment, get a job, Luna.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Yeah, just get a job. Get a real job.
Meanwhile, for women, of course it's not all roses and petals being broke. You both got no money. But there is one huge difference between us. A girl could have 0% net worth in anything throughout her whole lifespan, but there will always still be a guy out there that's willing to date, marry, and provide for her in some type of way from society. And we know it's always been like this in humanity.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like, how do you say that? Installed in our brains.
Doesn't matter how rich the guy is, he typically doesn't care. The weird thing I see some women do though is they'll be living in the absolute slums and bare bones of society, but say, don't talk to me until I see your pay stub has over 6 figures.
I actually yesterday saw a video on Twitter. It was about this girl and she had her birthday and she invited like 18 of her girlfriends and she expected her boyfriend to pay dinner for all of them. And the guy, rightfully so, said, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's your birthday. I'll pay for you. I'm not gonna pay for all your 18 friends. And then she was like, don't embarrass me here. No one wants a broke guy. What? Absolutely insane. That the guy doesn't pay for you. For all your 18 friends doesn't mean he's broke. He just doesn't want to get used like that. That was just something mind-boggling that I saw and I just needed to share it since I was watching a video about this anyway.
Don't talk to me until I see your pay stub has over 6 figures. Like, bro, what? You play in the league.
Audacity. The fucking audacity to demand that while you're like that, man. And most people also think that she's right for demanding that of the guy too. Absolutely insane.
And it actually can work out too. Let a dude try.
But at the same time, listen, I'm saying this is bad that as a woman you're expecting that from a guy, right? But as a guy that you also allow that, I also have my question marks there.
And he's gonna realize that life ain't fair. The next obvious double standard we all know is being short. Shout out to all my short kings watching this, all my short kings out there, because although I'm in the 7'1" club, I understand y'all's pain. Being short,
7 foot, yeah, just sure. I don't know how tall that is, but I just know that is really tall.
As a guy is one of those things where you just never stop hearing jokes from people about. You're getting roasted by your friends every day about it. And of course, there's the dating market that's already become the most biased market to ever exist. But being short adds an extra pain to that. I mean, there's literally an entire business model now catered to short guys for shoe height boosting.
That is actually so sad. Guys, please accept the way that you are, okay? Women that make fun about your height are not for you anyway. You deserve way better than that. Just be your natural you, and eventually you will find your partner, okay? Trust me, you'll find someone who doesn't care.
I still don't understand why you would ever buy this. I understand it's hard, but bro, you're gonna get bullied 10 times more if anyone ever... True. If so... What are you gonna do when they find out? Found you wearing one of these.
Yes, how are you going to explain it to anyone. It just seems like very humiliating to me.
If I saw one of my friends wearing one of these, I would tip him over in public just to see him stumble. And look, ladies, I understand if you don't want to date someone that's shorter than you, but it's gotten so bad that you'll have 4'10" Skittle-sized ass girls talking about, ugh, don't you know
That's
it's—
what I'm saying. That girl is the same height as me. I'm not saying she's not allowed to date a taller guy, because I see some women being very salty about short girls dating really tall guys, and I'm like, what you being salty about? The guy isn't gonna date you or something now, okay? They're already in a relationship. Like, what's the point of being salty about it, okay? You're just embarrassing yourself right now. It looks really dumb. What I find stupid is women that are that short, 4'11", will not even consider dating you unless you're above a certain height. And I'm like, girl, if your thing is that you want a guy to be taller than you, almost every guy is freaking taller than you. Come on. You have so many guys to choose from. Look at from the bright side. You have so many choices. Because you're 4'11", so many guys are taller than you. Why only limit yourself to guys that are above 6 foot?
It's only 6 foot guys enough for me. That's not a relationship at that point. That's a dad taking care of his dog. And every time I hear a girl that's super short say that's their type of preference,
But I don't think there's anything wrong with anyone that actually dates someone that's that much taller than them, right? Because love is love. It could be more than just their height. I, too, find it stupid if they're only consider dating you if you're 6 foot at least. That is what I find dumb. I'm never going to judge someone that's already in a relationship like that because you don't know how that started. You don't know the depth of their relationship, so I'm never going to judge that.
just imagine that train meme with the tunnel and wish her good luck. The next double standard we got is just being fat. I'm a firm believer to this day that the whole fat phobia movement was never meant for men. Like, fat guys gotta be the #1 most clowned and joked group about in society, next to #2, short guys. Like, when I was fat, there was nothing I could do without hearing a joke from my friends about. I could have won the
That is up though. I don't like that.
World hunger around the
But
world.
that is true. Seems like people are like fine with like making fun of guys that are fat and making jokes about that and keep on pestering them about it. But then when you're talking to a woman like that, everyone will say, hey, that's wrong. Why are you saying that? That's fucked up. And she will probably post something about it and go viral.
World then would still be like, well, congrats and all, but it could have been solved faster if your fat ass didn't eat so much of Earth's food supply. And if you somehow need any more proof this is true, just look at all the famous fat guy characters that are played as jokes. Peter Griffin, Homer Simpson, Ashley Starr, Aaron Cartman. That's why the only way for fat dudes to really have any type of game is learning how to be funny.
It is true though. As a guy, when you're not conventionally, how do you say that, attractive, being really funny helps.
Sections of a fat guy joke versus a fat girl joke are the most segregated things.
That's what I'm saying.
About not
You're gonna get attacked if you're gonna talk about a girl like that.
% of the time, if it's a fat guy,
I'm not saying that we should be making fun of girls. I actually think we should stop making fun of boys too. Even if you don't show it, I feel like sometimes certain jokes will stick in your mind, even if you play it off cool. But yeah, that's me. I'm too nice for a demon, man.
everyone's just dying laughing, rolling on the floor laughing at the joke. But make it a fat girl joke and you just started a whole terroristic attack in the comment section.
Yes.
If you're a guy making that joke,
You will go viral for all the wrong reasons if you do that.
You'll be lucky if you have your job by the end of the week. That's why I was really surprised that Lizzo got the meme treatment she did, because normally you don't see that for fat girls like fat guys. I still think if she wasn't outed as a terrible and horrible person, people wouldn't be doing it as much.
I don't know what happened to Lizzo. I don't really follow that.
And the last one we've got is what I like to call the zesty effect.
The zesty? What is zesty?
I feel like the word zesty has been abused so much.
I don't know what
and so
zesty
damn
is.
near that if you do anything remotely close to feminine as a guy now,
Oh,
you
that's
get it called
zesty.
zesty. You stretching
Oh.
after sitting down for a long time. Hey, yo, who you?
Yeah, no, that is ridiculous. I've like watched those ick lists for men that were made by women, and like the most normal shit they got the ick from because it is like a little feminine. I'm like, he's sitting like that because he has no choice. What do you mean? This is one of the most normal things to do.
Hey, yo, who you preparing that back for? Nah, you definitely hiding in the closet. You sitting down in the legs crossed position. Hey, yo, who you trying to hide them nuts from, nigga? Nah, you definitely closeted. You bending over to pick up something after dropping it? Hey, yo, nah, leaving them cheeks out like that unattended is odd. You definitely closeted. Meanwhile, women will have a 10-person orgy with their best friends and no one bats an eye. And don't get this wrong, okay? I'm not saying I'd ever...
That is true. I mean, I don't mean about the orgy and the one beds, and I don't know about that part, but I do know that some girls kiss their friends on the lips and no one bats an eye. But if a guy would do that, If a guy would kiss their friend as a hello, a lot of stuff would be said. A lot of stuff would be said.
I'm not on Lil Nas X timing.
That's a really nice picture. I like those diamonds there.
But I'm bringing this up for a reason. There are some women out there that actually get disgusted when a guy does one of these quote-unquote feminine
I know those weird fucking icks that women have, man.
actions or zesty actions. Like, they'll actually think something like crossing your legs means you've lost your respect as a man in the relationship. And if you don't believe me,
So
no
dumb.
problem. Go on TikTok and look at one of those videos about
The ick list, right?
quote-unquote-
Yes.
I already made a whole video on this bullshit, but
I have a reaction video about the ick list, by the way, if you're interested. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Men cannot do like the most normal shit without women getting the ick. Guys, you cannot drink coffee, by the way. You can't drink coffee. That's an ick.
it will actually make you lose brain cells.
Yeah.
Most of the time, this is a problem solely created by guys, though, but it still is a double standard nonetheless. And now that I'm finished with the guys,
I was making like one of my Reddit reaction videos, and in one of them there was like the glizzies. Yeah, glizzies. The glizzy cam, and the guy just wanted to take a fucking bite out of his hot dog, and the guy was filming it, and he stopped it because I guess that would be zesty. Guys, stop it.
next section, which is women's double standards. Now, the one most obvious one we all know off rip is being a hoe. If you're a guy out
Yeah,
there,
I find that funny. You know, I have one thing to say about this thing. Guys, not all guys, but these guys that I'm talking about right now, if you understand what I'm meaning, these guys are like, no, guys can play around, but women are not allowed to play around. And then I'm like, okay, but if you guys are allowed to play around, women are not allowed to play around, then who are you playing around with? Because those women are not allowed to play around with you. It makes no sense. If you're being a hoe, who's gonna be a hoe with you? If we're not allowed to be hoe, it makes no sense.
every other day, society is only going to applaud you and nothing else. Your friends are gonna dap you up because they know you can pull. Other girls are gonna be enamored by you because they know you can pull. And your dad's most likely gonna be proud because he raised a son who knows how to do his thing. Meanwhile, I don't think there is a single other person proud of when a woman does the same thing other than, well, other hoes. Her friends are most likely gonna shun her even if they don't do it in front of her. Other guys are definitely not gonna be attracted once they hear. They're gonna run away as far as possible, as a matter of fact. And do I even have to bring up what their parents probably think? Which is why,
Bro, this is f***ing crazy, but even my parents were like, yeah, boys are allowed to play around, but not in my house. But the girls cannot do that. And I was like, are you guys serious? I mean, I didn't say that. I wouldn't. I don't want to... I don't want to deal with that, but in my head, I was like, are you guys being serious?
a lot of times women will just simply lie about their body count because they don't want that shame from society. Even thinking of the terms, like if a guy calls
I feel
another...
like you should just like people do what the f you want to do. Like, bro, who the fuck cares? Live your own life. No one is forcing you to have a relationship with them, but like, don't shame them for it.
other guy a boy or a pretty boy, they take it as a trophy. But if a girl calls another girl a hoe or thought, they immediately gonna start having the most feral fight on the street right there.
Actually, he gave me an idea. If I ever get into a fight and someone calls me a thought, it has never happened before. But if for some fucking reason I'm gonna get into a fight or in an argument and someone calls me a hoe or a thought, I'll be like, oh my god, thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying it. I've been working really hard for that. I want to see their confused face when I say that.
Thing is, I understand if you're a guy who isn't out there like a quagmire every day doing whatever you want to, not wanting to wife up a Lana Rhodes that's been ran through like a go-kart track, but you'll have guys out there.
Oh, by the way, guys, I need to tell you this because I keep going onto the wrong side of Twitter and Instagram and internet in general. I just want to say, because I see some of the guys do not know how like the body works. The hole does not go wider the more the woman plays. Okay, this is misinformation that you guys keep spreading, but the hole does not become any bigger the more she plays with different people. Okay, thank you. Write that down. If someone spreads that misinformation again, please tell them the hole does not get any wider the more she plays with other people or the more time she plays in general. Thank you. It's just something that really irritates me when I see it.
300 bodies and every STD not even listed in the book talking about Man, when I settle down, my girl's gonna have 0 bodies regardless. 1 at the most if I allow it, but that's really pushing it. Once again, you ain't balling in the leagues you were set to, my guy. If you wanted to become like that, you should have thought of that before. The next one we got is obvious too, but it's women's hygiene products. Women have literally 0 control over their period taking over their body. Like that really comes in when you're 12 and you're stuck with that for a solid 40 years. So you would think it would just be a rule in society that we provide the products to help them for free in some type of way. But nah, bruh, it's an entire extra bill at the end of the month. You're basically born already in debt with bills.
That is true. Actually, this is so weird. Why are you not getting it for free? Why am I having to buy it every month? What the f?
You can skip on unless she likes to paint the road red every day, I guess. But you know for a fact, if guys had penis bleeds every month. Like, that just pains me to even think about. Some blood gushing out my pee hole every month? Then we would have a product for free on every other street.
I just want to say it doesn't come out of the pee hole, but I hope you knew that and you just said it because, you know, but maybe for other people, it does not come out of the pee hole.
Corner. And we kind of already do. Like, they'll give out free condoms and stuff before giving out free period.
I do think, like, some places do give you free pets and stuff like that. I just don't know where. But I do feel like in general, it should be free everywhere.
Now, this one's more complicated because I think a lot of times women will complain that men cause these super duper makeup standards to become so popular, but it'll end up just being them kinda competing against each other to look.
I want to say, like, I don't think it's men at all. I think it's just women because most of the time, women, and me too, I don't wear a lot of makeup, but sometimes I try it, but I end up not really liking it because I don't really know how to do it and I just keep trying again and again. The thing that motivates me or like gives me the idea to even try makeup is seeing other women wearing makeup. It has never been a guy telling me like, hey, Sai, I think you should wear some makeup because you're looking a little ill. Like, I think you could use some makeup. And a guy has never done that. A girl also has never done that. But it's just me seeing more women wear makeup. I'm like, I think I need to wear makeup. And then I try to wear makeup because I feel like I'm not fitting in anymore. Which is not true, by the way. Do what you want. Wear makeup if you want. Do not wear makeup if you don't want, okay? Just in my own experience, could be different for other women, of course. Don't get mad at me. Me, personally, I get influenced by other women to wear makeup because I'm like, shit, everyone's wearing makeup. Maybe I should be wearing makeup, you know?
Look better with nothing to do with men. Like birthday makeup and UK girl makeup is an example. I don't know a single guy who actually likes this shit. And I personally think a lot more guys have shifted to liking a more natural face. But at the same time, dudes will say they like no makeup and all natural, then end up clowning a female celebrity when she posts a pic with no makeup.
That's true.
Like, these comments be brutal. Y'all be ragging on them like there's no tomorrow. It's gotten so bad that some guys on Twitter a couple months ago were trying to say that Margot Robbie, is mid without makeup.
I saw that. I was like, what the f*** are you talking about? This is my theory, but I think the reason that this happens is because they are so used to seeing these women with makeup that they start to think, oh, this is what they look like. And they're not really realizing that they look like this because of the makeup. So when they see them without the makeup, they're confused. And they're like, huh? Like, I feel like the difference is the thing that is happening and makes them call them mid. I feel like if they never saw the makeup version of her, if that makes sense, they wouldn't have had that feeling. But I'm not really sure. That's just my theory. Do not get mad at me. I will cry.
And this is her without makeup.
Wait, she's really cute though. Wait, what? Wait. She looks younger without makeup.
Bro, you're genuinely just gay. Like, what do you find attractive? And pretty privilege is a...
I don't know. I think it might be the difference that confuses their brain.
So a lot of times they have to wear at least a little something if they do want recognition, sadly. Finally, the last one we've got for women is childcare. Now, most of the time, if a woman is having a baby, then society universally agrees she has to take care of it. Like, you made the choice, popped out your coochie, take care of it. And if the dad just says, F it, peace, bitch, I'm out, she's gotta handle it all alone. So if the child does grow up to be up because of neglect, then all of the blame goes onto the mother. Meanwhile, the dude...
I hate that too because on the... we're going to Twitter again. I'm scrolling too much on Twitter. I need help. I see specifically men blame the women all the time for having a baby. They're like, wow, she should have known that that guy was like that before she spread her legs. And it infuriates me so much because some people pretend to be a different way until later on in the fucking relationship. That doesn't mean that they always knew that the guy was gonna be like that. Some sometimes you just don't. And then when you figure it out, you already have a child. Like, of course, for some people it is true. For some people it is true. You could have known that the guy would be like this because he already went to jail 50 times before you had the fucking baby, and you knew that. But it isn't always the case. Stop saying that. Even if that is true, right? That she should have known that the guy was gonna be like that. He still put that baby in her. He still should be also providing for that child. Like, there is no excuse in my opinion. The child is already there. You made that child together with that woman.
Dipped out years ago isn't even into question. Unless she's balling out to like 10K a month in child support, it ain't gonna be easy. Which is why I think Mother's Day is celebrated 10 times more than Father's Day. Shout out to the King Dads out there. Like, I truly do believe it shouldn't be shit on as much as it is.
Shout out to the King Dads!
This bias just didn't poof and come out of nowhere. To wrap it up, double standards are one of the most unfair rulings placed on us in society. Some of them you can avoid, a lot of them you can't. Just live your life as you would, and there is no life lesson here, really.
Yes,
You're just gonna have to deal with them in this world. It's unfortunate. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Bye. It was a fun video. I could rant. Hi, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please don't forget to give a like to the video and subscribe to my channel. I also stream live on Twitch and on YouTube, so follow me on Twitch or just turn on the notification bell on YouTube to know when I go live. I hope to see you there. Bye!